guys, I've got a box of Orc Boar Boyz. I was really hoping these would become core, that I could take these as my core orcs, but unfortunately they're still stuck in special, which is not a big fan. Orc Boar Boyz are basically an orc who's been bad-tempered or thran, as I would say, enough to batter an a boar into doing roughly what he tells it to do. They're still bad-tempered beasts at the best of times. They're not as uncontrollable as squigs, but they're not far off it. You get your bog standard boy on top of the orc pretty much. Movement 4, ballistic skill 4, weapon skill 4. Movement 4, weapon skill 3, BS 3, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 2, 1 attack, leadership 7. Basically, if he gets on a boar, he has movement 7. Then the boar has its own stats: weapon skill 3, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, initiative 3. So the boar is faster than the orc. The boar is smarter than the orc, but the orc managed to get to ride the boar. Really, it should be the other way around, right enough. But anyway, guys, these are cool. These are in your special section of the book. There's a lot of good stuff in the specials now, but I am a big fan of... I would have loved to have did an entirely orc cavalry army, but I would have to use some of the goblins riding some of their spiders or wolves to get an entirely cavalry army. It would be no good in the Watchtower mission, isn't it, where you have to hold the building to win the game, but would be entertaining the rest of the time. So I'll get on and see what these does. The orc that comes on it, basically these are your boars. We have them all here, all the spare legs, and here's a shield and whatnot. There's the arms for your boys. Here we have a standard. You can have a standard bearer in the unit. We have a chopper here, another chopper there, and the rest of your boars. On the turn they charge, the boars give you +2 strength. They do for the Tusker charge, and the boar, being quite tough, gives you +2 to your armor save, which would be handy. Here we have orc heads of varying descriptions. I prefer the ones with the helmets on them, right enough. We have some other bits and pieces here. Let's see what we have. We have the boar's heads here. We have some more orc arms here, and other orc body parts here and along here. We have the fronts of the bodies here, and and we have the horn here for the orc musician. What else have we got? And we have our other bit here with the rest of our boar bodies. We have an orc with a larger chopper of some description. I presume he might be the upgrade to the boss. We have another chopper here, bodies, various weapons here. These would be spears, lances for the orcs, I take it. Various things, a different standard, which I might be slightly more preferable to, some orc armor pieces, and some more shields. You can have shields with these guys as well. The whole thing looks pretty good, guys. I don't see any downside to them. We even have our little booklet here of how to build these guys. I have been getting some complaints from the guys in Kazakhstan that they don't come in Kazakh. The instructions, they come in like French and German and whatnot. Basically, you build your boar and then you stick your guys on the top of it. Should be pretty handy enough. Can't see any problems using these. I am a fan of these in general, guys. I do think they're very reasonable points wise and whatnot. So I find it hard to say anything bad about them. I'm just a big fan of cavalry in general and fantasy. If they were fast cav, they'd be even better, but I don't think they'd let me off with trying to use these as fast cap. But I'll get on, guys. I'll get these built and see how I do. Guys, these are my Orc Boar Boys. For me, they're the best Boar Boys because they don't have that stupid frenzy and they're not savage, which is a bit daft. But this is my unit. It's got full command. It's got champion and it's got a musician, but from the back of their heads I can't tell. But we'll get a look here. Finally, a proper standard, which I like. Good old fashioned flag. Looks like something that's been shot up the Civil War or something along them lines. Again, the boars are all good looking, guys. It's just the boy on top of it here is a bit hanging on for grim death, but that's just the way he has to be. The thing that gets me about all these is the guy, they don't saddle their boars, so they hang on to the back of one of these, but they have to have a good grip, and whenever you're holding a standard and a shield, you have to have good grip with your knees to stay on this bugger. We have our orc musician here. He's charging into battle with his shield in one hand and his horn in the other hand, and his fierce boar to do a bit of killing with. Again, quite crouched over it. Not a huge fan of these, but the design, but they're better than standing on it the way the Savage guys basically do. But again, I like these at 16 points each for some handy, useful cavalry. I'm a big fan of cavalry in general, but I would never play with those daft Bretonians because I think they're a bit too much. Regular guy with shield on his boar, almost looks as if he's about to dismount his boar. This dude really is just about hanging on. The boar again. Great movement on the boars. Whoever did the boars were really doing well, guys. Definitely not like the Ragnarok dude. And where have we got? We've got our champion here, full face mask, half decent looking sword and shield. He's our boss. His boar looks good as well, guys. Can say nothing bad about it. Again, good pose on the boar. Preferable pose on the champion. These guys still hanging on with their knees. That's just our last dude. That's Tilly and Charlie. They're all very down low on their boars. You could almost say a bit of modelling here to try and keep their line of sight or their getting shot at quite low, which I'm always a huge fan of. Guys, big fan of these. I think these are the best of the boars. They have animosity, like all orcs have. They have choppas. They have the other standard orc rules for not minding that the small things run away, pretty much. For me, the best boars and the best value points. Pass your animosity. You do the hell whatever you want to do. Can be upgraded to big uns. This would be one of the units I would consider upgrading to big uns, but it costs 4 points a man. But still well worth it. Upgrade to big un, you'll be upgraded to strength 4, which only affects the guy in the back of the boar. You can't have a big un boar as well, which would be a bit painful. But for me, I like them, like the models. The fact that only one leg is down, I don't mind in plastic models because you can use some plastic glue to really get that a good grip on to the base. Tactically wise, bog straight forward as hard as you can go into the enemy, and if I was an orc player, I'd be shouting wah at the enemy every turn just to wind them up a wee bit. Try and get one of your generals nearby, especially a black orc guy that can quell the old animosity, things like that there. All in all, you can stick your musician in here, or your musician, I'm losing the plot. You can stick your magician in here on a boar, stick him in the front rank, and he has all the advantages of being in a unit, cover saves, all the rest, lookout sur saves, all the rest for being in a unit. So all in all, probably my favourite unit of the week, but you can correct me on that, guys. Stick some comments in and I'll get on and get to making funny noises when I move my boars around.